Good morning, Upper Michigan. Today, it's a great Monday, the last Monday of September, Tia. Can you believe it? We just started. I feel like September just got here. Now it's already the last Monday. We about to hop into October. So crazy to even think about.
I feel like this year, 2025, is going by so fast. In just a couple of months, we'll have a whole another year to write down in the history books. And we're here this morning live at the Alger County Heritage Center and Museum in Munising. We will be heading inside in just a few moments, introducing you to the president and the vice president, two of many people working to keep the history of this area alive. We'll be showing you around the museum, diving into a couple of history lessons ourselves, and then telling you how you can get involved in preserving the history here, keeping it in live for maybe another 100 years and then some.
Yeah, a lot of history here. It tells the whole story, or not the whole story, but maybe a large chunk of Munising, you know. And going and just touring inside of it before we got on air, Tia, there's a lot of things here that really, you know, as we would say, are very old-timey, but a lot of people in that time, they're like, well, this is very current to them. So I wonder if when we tour, if the people, you guys at home that are watching, feel like you could live in these times, you know? Tia, do you feel like touring the place as much as you did before we got on air, do you feel like this is like a time that you could live in?
I mean, there are tons of decades represented here. And I just have to say, as somebody who lives in modern society, no, I don't think I could exist without my iPhone.
Well, of course, there's a lot of things in there. Of course, iPhones didn't exist at this point in time, or a lot of technology, a lot of hands-on things that people had to do in order to survive back in that time. So a lot of history to be seen. So it's like, you know.
Yeah, woodworking, blacksmithing, fur trading, it's all on display here inside. So we're going to show you. Might as well head in. Follow us as if you have a choice.
All right.
I'll let you go in first.
You guys can go in first. I'm behind you.
So here's the center, just so that you know it is closed on Sundays and Mondays. We'll tell you about your opportunity to come in and visit in a moment. But we are here, hello, good morning, with the president, Mary Jo Courier, and the vice president, President Phyllis Pocola. So thanks a lot for joining us on a Monday morning. I mean, it's a beautiful day out, a beautiful time to make a visit to Munising. Before we talk about this museum, this heritage center in general, Mary Jo, I want to hear about your involvement here and why it's so important to you to help preserve the history of Munising and keep it on display for visitors and residents alike.
Well, I was born and raised here. I've lived here all my life, never left. So family's important, community's important. I get teary. Yeah, but it's just to preserve this. It's like, you know, I never knew half the stuff that's here. You know, to look at it and think, oh my goodness, look what we had here in this community. You know, look at the stuff that happened. Look at the people. It's just, you need to have that.
I mean,
you need to look at the past.
You really do. And Munising is one of those communities that is, it's tight-knit, it's small. There's a lot of family history. I'm really looking forward to making the connections between some of these historical moments and the present day. But Phyllis, I would like to hear from you as well. What's really your involvement been like to this Heritage Center, and what does it mean to you to help preserve its history?
I came on the board in the mid-'80s, and I represent, and I was asked to be on the board to represent the Rock River Township and the Chatham-Evan area. And so being an educator all my working years, I think it's been important to me that we continue to educate people on the value of looking back and recording and observing the future, and how important this is to our community. If you look at the walls here, we've got boards in 3 different places that people have donated to the society to make sure that the goals are accomplished. One was getting into this building and remodeling it as a museum And since then, we've added structures to the grounds. And so it is important that we not let this go.
Yeah. And I mean, the physical building itself is a piece of Munising's history. This is an old schoolhouse.
This came in 1925, and it was a 4-room classroom until 1979. It closed its doors, and in '93 we took over. And under the auspices of Frank Bartle, who was president, and Lynn Nebo, with her designs, they created this beautiful spot to hold our stuff.
So can you give us a brief rundown of what visitors will find when they visit the Alger County Heritage Center?
Well, it's all about Alger County. We try to keep our collection only to Alger County. They will see the woodenware, which is a big factor in Munising. We talk about the local economy, the Munising paper mill, the timber products, the snowshoe, Iverson snowshoe. We talk about the iron ore, the logging, the farming. We had a big display with the Smithsonian on the farming and really got people on board with that. Grand Island, very important place. The first white settler, Abraham Williams, was there, and so now we have his fur trader's cabin here. We brought in blacksmithing because that was very prevalent in the area, and we just acquired a new blacksmither, Will Jackway, so hopefully we'll do on-site demonstrations for that. But it's just in all the history. We have oral histories. We have the largest oral history in the Upper Peninsula, according to Marcus Robbins from Northern. And we also have large amount of photos. I mean, our last archivist, he actually downloaded 50,000 pictures. So we have them. We have all of the newspapers from the early 1900s, and I'll show you a copy of one of the books. What else, Phyllis? I mean, there's so much here to see and learn, and I just hope people come in to see it. It's a lot to take care of, but it's precious.
Well, I want to hear more about the work to take care of it. And for those of you at home, I hope that you stay tuned because we've got history lessons galore for you throughout the rest of this episode of Upper Michigan Today. We're going to take a commercial break, but we'll be right back in 3 minutes with more.